Alright, so, summary for Evo. First off, Evo to me fills a really interesting little niche, if you will, where it feels like a lighter game, but you get to develop and build like a heavier game. There isn't a great deal of brain burning or heavy thought going on here, but you get to kind of progress your dinosaurs and your people, and follow routes that may not necessarily be the ones you hoped for at the beginning of the game, but are unique and interesting each time. I mean, believe it or not, I was not planning on being the discount no Genosauruses, but as it turns out, we came out ahead by 4 points just because we never really bid too high on anything. So the points we earned with our smaller amount of dinosaurs, we kept. Those vials ended up helping a lot because I could start every bid at 2, and for me it was a 0. So it really is a game that could almost be considered a gateway into a little bit heavier of gaming for people that are used to the lighter and the simpler. And well, we have our newbie gamer to question about this one. How did it strike you in terms of accessibility?
I found it very accessible. It was a good game for maybe delving into more rigorous gaming.
So, like, none of the rules gave you any particular problems, or
No.
weren't terribly confused by anything going on?
It wasn't. It was actually it was fun.
Yeah.
She caught on really quickly in our learning game.
Yeah, and you see, that's a wonderful element to it. Any real thought you put into the game isn't so much trying to follow the rules or what you can and can't do, more like where you think the climate track is going and positioning yourself for, better survival this round and rounds down the road. There was a point in the game where I chose to sacrifice a dinosaur over here instead of over here because I knew I was going to be stopping the climate dial and wanted lots of brown to expand into with my babies. And that, to me, it really succeeds quite nicely on that mark. If you're looking for a heavier game, you're probably going to be disappointed. If you're looking for a super light game, you're probably going to be disappointed. But it really fits a fairly rare middle category, and it does a fantastic job of doing that. It utilizes a really interesting bidding mechanic that both determines turn order to a degree and keeps people kind of bouncing back and forth. I will say, though, as kind of a negative to my mind, it's a little irritating you can't bid again in the same column with lower player counts. Because with 4 and 5 people, oh man, it's fantastic. You've got these little guys just bouncing all over the place. You get outbid on this one, so you jump over here, so he jumps into the middle one, and then that guy goes over here, and it's great fun. But with two players, we don't even follow that rule. It just doesn't work. I mean, you get to bid once on a column, they go one up, and just get it. I mean, it doesn't really work too well. With 3 players, it works, but it's a little less exciting because the second one person's like, fine, I'll take the 0, everyone's done bidding because they're not bouncing anymore. So, but oh man, the production value's pretty fantastic for the price. Well, it's currently out of print, if I remember correctly, so it's going for a bit more than I would consider it to be worth, budget-wise. But for its original MSRP, definitely good value. You've actually got 5 different full-color, really nice-looking dinosaur boards here. You have separate boards for different player counts. This is the 4 and 5 player, 4 player on one side, 5 player on the other, 3 and 2. You've got more unique genes than you use in a single game. You've got Oh man, I love this big, huge, colorful wheel. They could have done it with something a quarter the size, but it just looks so good like this. It feels big and meaty and dinosaur-y.
And it's fun to spin.
It is. It's very satisfying. This neat little meteor here and just, yeah, the components, just fantastic. Top-notch stuff, you know. It's Asmodee, though, so that's not really surprising.
And the art's pretty awesome.
Oh, I know. I just look at these dinosaur placemats. They're so cool. You could laminate these and, you know, eat food off them. They're terrific. Actually use it as a placemat, you know, laminated.
Oh, I know you,
Yum,
and
yum,
even
yum.
the plastic you'd freak out. You'd want to protect the plastic.
If it's 5mm lamination, it'll be fine. Shut up.
Like 3 layers.
I'm a big old wooden seal. It feels great for what it's supposed to be. And so easy to teach, so easy to learn. I would definitely give it a budget sign of approval once it comes back into print, which hopefully it will, because, you know, it just, for out of print prices, not really, but its regular intended price, absolutely. Absolutely. Closing remarks, anybody?
Very enjoyable game. I actually found the thinking about where I was going to move. Normally thinking games aren't my thing, but this was fun.
You did look like you were starting to overheat at a couple points.
I wanted to make sure, okay? I really enjoyed thinking about where I was going to put my
Little
dinosaurs.
crackling balls of energy.
Well, and remembering what genes you have that protect you from what climate is adds
Mhm.
another
Knowing
layer.
where I want to put my new dinosaur children.
Yeah, oh yeah, the children thing is a big one, and you got to plot your movement accordingly.
So
If your
you know where
dinosaur's
you want
here, you go here, not here, to leave the room open for the breeding.
You can breed
Yeah.
more.
I blocked my breeding at least one time.
Well, that's what's so much fun about killer babies.
I know.
You
I
can
love
scare
that.
people off just by being near them. Baby bomb, meow.
And yeah, and the only thing that they lose on are the X and the double horn. So
Yeah, see, I wasn't
babies are
aware of that. I
deadly.
thought I'd lost that second time too.
yeah. No, I read it when Killer Babies came out in the learning game.
Alrighty. Well, yeah, so it seems to have a reasonably unanimous approval. So, yeah, definitely give it a try if you can find it at a reasonable rate. Until next time, get off your computer and go play some more games.